Hello, everyone, and welcome to this presentation by Profile Tree. My name is Gabrielle, and I'm a lead digital strategist at Profile Tree. And today we're going to look at how you can save time by creating content for your social media channels with AI. So this presentation is ideal whether you are a business that have an existing social media presence and are maybe looking a bit of support, or maybe have hit a creative wall and want to know how to make elevated content, or if you're a business or a creator who are looking just to launch their social media presence but want to have an idea of how you can use AI to support you, this presentation is perfect for both. So what we'll do today is take you through this presentation, and either during the presentation or at the end, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. I will happily help answer any questions that you might have, or one of the team can also jump in. So to get started, let's take a look at the layout of today's presentation. So first of all, we're going to look at the introduction of AI and social media. We'll then be looking at the evolution of social media content over the years. We'll also look at the benefits of AI in content creation, and also some really great tools or AI tools that you can use in terms of creating your content. We'll then look at how you can navigate different challenges that AI can present. And then we'll lastly have a look at some of the best practices that you want to use with AI within your social media content and marketing. So to get started, we'll jump in with the introduction of AI in social media. So in the context of social media, AI has always been there. Artificial intelligence has always been an aspect, and particularly in terms of how the different platforms have machine learning, and particularly in terms of the different algorithms that the platforms have and how they determine what content we see and how we engage with content. So if you're here today and you're thinking, I don't have an idea what algorithm means, algorithm is just the coding in how each different social media platform determines how you see content. Generally, with the platforms, each have a different algorithm, but some can perform quite similar. In terms of how AI is elevated in social media, it's looking in terms of when you're looking in terms of content creation, you're looking at the data analytics that can help enhance social media experiences, and also the functionalities that you can use when you're creating content or just monitoring and maintaining your channels. Some examples for current applications of AI in social media. Existing examples would be in terms of tools like chatbots for customer service, the personalization of content, targeted advertising, so say for example maybe Facebook or Google Ads, and also the predictive analytics for user behavior. So an example of this would be, say for example, on YouTube. In YouTube analytics, if you have video content, it collects that data and can tell you when your audience is mostly online, different types of content from other channels that your audience enjoys, and also how your audience has found your video content. So again, just using YouTube as an example, you can see how that data and those statistics that AI have created will help anyone, whether you're a business or a creator on YouTube as a platform, have an idea of what type of content you should make based on maybe other competitor content, but also in terms of your posting strategy, when you should be posting your videos to reach the max capacity of your audience when they're online. In terms of AI's role in content creation, so artificial intelligence is really revolutionizing content creation, from things like automated content generation, predicting trends. It's also a great tool if you find the keywords and hashtags are something that you struggle with, and because it can help provide analysis. And also in terms of image recognition, so it can help create improved visual content. And visual content, especially now, and it's something we'll talk about in a bit in terms of how social media content has grown. Visual content should be, if you're not really using it, should be a priority for you moving forward. Then looking at how AI has enhanced user engagement, it can analyze large volumes of social media data, kind of like I mentioned with YouTube, to understand user preferences, engagement patterns, and also help creators, marketers, and businesses alike to tailor their content more effectively to their audience. So like I mentioned with YouTube, that is using that as an example platform. If you had that data, you're going to know, is there maybe topics that you don't have video content about, that's how that's other channels or content that your audience enjoys, and how you can incorporate that into your own content. And then lastly, on this slide, we're going to look at how AI has improved analytics and insights. So in terms of social media, analytics and insights and monitoring your channels is priority, it's key in really growing any type of channel. AI tools can help provide deeper and more accurate insights into the different performance metrics. And this can help enable more informed strategies and decision making. So whether if your demographic is different on each platform or anything like that, is just a great way for you to know what the best foot forward is with your content. So for any of you who maybe weren't aware how AI has been used or been seen in social media, in this slide I've provided some examples for you. So in the first one, you can see the little search bar. This is taken from TikTok. So whether you've used TikTok before or not, or if you have, you've probably seen this before. But with the search function on TikTok, if you go into it, you can see that it will give you a list of either trending topics or trending videos that are currently being talked about. But also what it can do is it can let you know if there's any channels that you may already follow. Sometimes it can give you an update to let you know that they have added a new post. Probably then the most common example you see of AI in social media that I don't think a lot of people realize that it was there already is you can see in this other screenshot that I have taken from Instagram. If you ever follow a creator or another person or user on Instagram, you will generally get a drop-down menu where it says suggested for you. This is the AI of the algorithm of, say, Instagram, looking in terms of who the user or the channel that you just followed and how their content can match other profiles that then you might want to engage with. So these are just two mere examples of how AI has always been existing in social media. And the way AI is also developing, I can see that even these will also elevate further as time goes on. So now we want to talk about the evolution of social media content. So over the years, social media content has shifted, and it's something I mentioned a couple of slides ago, but it has shifted from simple text updates. So say, for example, when Twitter, or X as it's now known, first launched, it was mere text updates. Now there's been a big shift, and it's something you can see across any different type of social media channel, that there's been a big shift towards rich media content. So this can include video content, having live streams on your channel, say for example TikTok or Instagram, and also interactive posts. So this type of content is not only great in terms of elevating the type of visual or rich media content that you can provide, but say for example with things like live streams, this gives you as a business or a creator a direct route to your audience, to interact with your audience, to find out what they want to know. So say, for example, if you sold products on lives, you can do product demonstrations, do promotions for those products, but also you can build up that rapport with your audience, and that's going to create a much more positive reinforcement and potentially lead to either more sales or leads for you as a business, but also could potentially lead to more engagement on your feed posts on a day-to-day basis for your organic content. Sticking with this, then we want to look at the rise of micro content. So if you're not sure what the term micro content refers to, platforms like TikTok and also with YouTube introducing YouTube Shorts, there's been a growing popularity for micro content. So this ultimately is short form video content, or say, for example, like Instagram stories. And these help cater to the decreasing attention span of audiences online, as well as the fast-paced nature of social media content consumption. So even just to kind of point on the attention span, last time I checked, attention spans online are about 8.6 seconds. So this is what you always want to keep in mind when you're maybe looking to create content, even if it is short form content. You're going to want to get your main point across very early in those videos, But also then if you see a rise in engagement on that short, like say micro content, that is something then that you should maybe adapt to your social media content strategy moving forward. We also want to look at the importance of engagement. So there is a change in the success metrics in social media. It's went from merely looking at views or likes to now looking at much more deeper engagement metrics such as shares, comments, and also the ability to spark conversation and build communities. So another example of how the importance of engagement is in terms of, say, for example, Instagram. Instagram is has been created probably in the past 4 years or so, is now based off an engagement based algorithm. So what that pretty much means is that if I was to follow you and I interacted with your account all the time, if you were to post right now, I will probably see it immediately because Instagram can recognize that I engage with your content, so I must want to see your content more often. On the other hand, on how it can work in contrast, say if I followed your account a year ago and maybe haven't interacted with you, maybe say in 6 months, really, there's a very high likelihood that you could post, say you post it right now. I would probably, if I was to scroll through my main feed, I will probably see it in a few days from now. So this is where the importance of engagement should always be in the back of your mind when you're thinking about how you want to elevate your social media content moving forward. We also then want to look at the shift towards personalization and authenticity. So on social media, users are now preferring content that is not only tailored to their interests and their behaviors, but also exhibits authenticity for a business and also has a level of relatability. So this is moving away from the traditional overly polished or sales centered content. So an example of this is if you have an existing social media posting strategy, you might find that maybe content that is maybe sales orientated will have less engagement in comparison to, say, for example, if you were to post maybe a team photo or a behind the scenes look into your business. Users and audiences want to know who is behind the business, who is there, how can they relate, and this even can be shown in terms of other things like user generated content, which we'll talk about in a wee second. But we also want to have a look at the impact of these algorithms. So like I was mentioning there with Instagram, social media algorithms have changed in terms of content visibility, particularly organic content, but it can also help emphasize the importance of content quality and the relevance to your audience. And like I was mentioning, engagement is crucial to secure a spot in your users' feeds. So this is something in terms of the different algorithms, you always want to keep these in mind when you're planning your content moving forward. And then like I mentioned just there about user-generated content. So there's been a rise in generated content for businesses that can help shape your brand narrative and also foster user engagement. So this is an aspect that highlights how brands are leveraging their content created by their own customers and followers. So say, for example, if you were a clothing business, if you share user-generated content of your customers maybe wearing the different products that you sell, sharing this as content on your feeds is going to create, like I mentioned before, in terms of the personalization and authenticity, it's going to create a level of relatability for any customers that you maybe haven't potentially bought from you yet. If they can see someone else who maybe looks like them or maybe has a similar build to them wearing the clothes, see how they fit, that's going to have a much more positive impact on a sale rather than maybe just a generic, like I was mentioning, polished promotional post itself. And then lastly, we want on this side, we want to look at the influence of emerging technologies. So technologies like AI, AR, and VR are helping support brands create initiative, innovative and immersive content experiences on social media platforms. So one VR a couple of years ago was the big one, but this is a good point to kind of think about that. Say if you're watching today and you haven't used AI before in your social media content, because of how rapidly it's transforming and developing and these technologies are being used more and more by businesses, I would highly recommend to maybe take a step back and have a look at what the content you're currently using and how these different technologies can help elevate that to a completely different level. So now we want to look at the benefits of AI in content creation. So although some of you may find the development of AI intimidating, I know I do sometimes, it can really bring a large range of benefits for creating content for your social media channels. So some of the benefits include increasing efficiency and productivity. So AI tools can help you automate routine tasks, such as, say, for example, posting schedules for your content, doing hashtag research, and also just basic content generation. So with this automation, it's helping you save time, which is what ultimately, if you joined this presentation today, this is what you're looking to do. And it also helps allow either whether it's you that are managing your social media channels or if you have a social media manager within your team, and it allows them more time to focus on strategy and the creative aspects rather than being solely focused on the content itself. Like I mentioned before, AI can also help personalization. So the AI algorithms of the different platforms can help analyze large data sets to understand your audience's preferences and behaviors. And with this insight, it can help you enable the creation of personalized content, but that is tailored to your audience and your audience's needs in terms of even specific audience segments. And this can also help then lead to a higher level of engagement on your content. Like I mentioned before, there's been a big shift towards rich media content, but with this shift, there's also a higher level and higher focus on the quality of content. So AI tools can help improve content quality. It can assist you in terms of optimization by suggesting edits, enhancing maybe language, say for example, with AI tools, say one you can find on Instagram is you can record a voiceover on a video and then add captions that are just generated by an AI tool within Instagram itself. But how AI can also help is ensuring that your content is SEO friendly. What this can do is lead to higher quality posts that are then going to likely resonate more with your audience and your target audience overall. I mentioned before in terms of how AI can help predict things like trends and market segments. So you can see here in terms of one of the benefits is predictive analytics for trend spotting. So how AI tools can do this is they can predict emerging trends by analyzing social media data. And this can help you as a brand or a business create content that is currently relevant and is more likely to capture your audience's interest and attention, and leaning on from that engagement, and you're just going to see like a domino effect from there. In terms of then the scalability of content production, so this is actually an area, a benefit that AI, that at least in my own experience, I have seen with AI. So with artificial intelligence, you have the ability to produce content on scale without a proportional increase in things like, say, resources, time, or budgets. The scalability is especially beneficial, say, for example, for brands looking or businesses looking to maintain consistent and robust online presence across multiple different social media platforms. But also, for example, it's also great if you are, say, if you are a sole trader or you're a small business and you're kind of running everything yourself. This is where AI tools can really help support you. In terms then of the creative insights and inspiration, so AI can help provide you, and this is like I mentioned at the start of this webinar, AI tools are great if you have a social media presence, but you've maybe hit that creative wall and you can't really think, say, for example, for captions, you don't really know what's going to engage your audience. So AI can help create suggestions for content. So in terms of content topics to maybe design elements of your content visuals, and it can help inspire new and innovative content ideas that maybe you hadn't considered otherwise. And what I'll do is I'll talk a little bit more about this when we're talking about the tools later on. So some other things, other benefits then you can see there. So there's things like effective sentiment analysis. So this is allowing AI allowing you to look at user comments and reactions to gauge the sentiment towards a brand specific post. So again, if you're looking to adapt your content strategy, this type of analysis would really come in clutch for you. And it will help you better align with maybe if you have different target audience or audience sentiments. Again, then with, I think this is probably one of the best elements as well of AI, and it's one that I briefly mentioned earlier on, is the optimized posting times. So like I mentioned with YouTube, artificial intelligence can help analyze when your audience is going to be most active and likely to engage with your content. So this can help you determine optimal times for posting. So again, like I mentioned with YouTube, it'll give you a breakdown. It'll look like a bar chart if you've seen it before, and it'll give you a breakdown of, it'll show you the times throughout the day. And in terms of color grading, when, if they say the darker the blue, that is when your audience is most online. So it's, and again, if you are a business who's just started and you're not sure when to post, when you have experimented with posting, these AI tools can kick in and then support you moving forward. And then the last couple of benefits then, so we have things like A/B testing and content experimentation, can say that word at all. So AI enables efficient A/B testing of different content types and formats. You'll see A/B testing a lot, say, for example, in Facebook ads. And this allows you as a business to refine your content strategy based on the kind of concrete data and the results you're going to get from those. So say even for example for your paid marketing for social media, this A/B testing can show you what type of maybe visuals or captions worked better in your ads, maybe in comparison to what you maybe had originally. And then lastly, we want to look at the benefit of enhanced visual content. So there are AI-driven tools that can help you create and suggest improvements to visual content. So this can be things like AI art or in terms of videos as well. And this can help make your content much more engaging, but also more suitable for you as a brand with your aesthetic and also the brand tone and message that you want to come across to your target audience. So now I want to make you just pause for a second and have a thought of how long does it take you to come up with a caption customized for more than 2 social media platforms. What I want you to do is keep this in mind. And as we move along, especially if maybe this can aid or kind of support you, maybe a question that you might have. And I really think that if you keep this in mind when we talk about the different AI tools that are available, you're going to find that there are tools out there that you maybe haven't used before that you will find beneficial. So now that I've given you a little moment to think, we'll move on, but just keep this in the back of your mind as we move throughout the presentation. So now we want to look at some different tools that are out there for content creation. So ChatGPT is probably the most common tool, or AI tool out there that a lot of people will know, like you yourself watching this might have already heard of ChatGPT. But it is a great way to enter the world of AI with your social media content, especially if you're maybe a little bit hesitant in using other AI tools. So with this tool, you can create content plans, improve captions for your social media posts, as well as other content marketing outgoing such as like blogs or email marketing layouts. And you can see here as an example of how ChatGPT works. So all you have to do, so you can see here, I have used an example of giving it a prompt saying, can you create a content calendar for a TikTok account on you're reviewing real estate listings? And you can see it's kind of given me a breakdown of how I could create a content calendar and examples of posts I can use. Now, with any type of AI tool, especially with with ChatGPT, when you're using it, you want to be aware of the prompts that you're using and you want to try to make them as detailed as possible. So, for example, if your prompt was something as simple as make me a blog on coffee beans, that is maybe a little bit too broad. Whereas if you compare it to a prompt such as, can you create a keyword focused 1,000 word blog on coffee beans and include subheadings on topics such as types of coffee beans and the origins of these beans, you're going to find that the content that ChatGPT creates is going to be much more detailed, and it's going to be much more focused on the goal you have. So say, for example, in that example prompt, I'm looking in terms of SEO for my keywords. And then this type of content can then be shared to your social media channels. If I was to give one piece of advice when using ChatGPT, is the important thing that you always want to remember is that although it can help create content for you, it doesn't know your business or your maybe your brand tone or messaging. So what you want to do is whatever content, so say for example, if it's a social media caption, what you want to do is take whatever options it provides for you that you like. What I'd recommend is for you to take it and then to adapt it so add your own little bits and pieces into the content just to ensure that it always matches your brand tone. Because that's the thing is, although these AI tools are continuously developing, like I said, they don't know your business, don't know maybe what your previous tone of voice has been in your other content. So yes, use the support of it, but don't kind of just copy and paste and that's you done. You do want to review just to ensure all the information is correct. But like I said, that your brand of tone, your tone of your business is within that content as well. So the next one we want to look at is it's called Dolly. So the best way to describe how to say it is if you've ever seen the Pixar film WALL-E, it's the same kind of pronunciation. But this is a new feature from ChatGPT, particularly ChatGPT 4, and it can also be found on Canva Pro, where you can give a request for an image that you would like to create for whether it's a social media post or a blog post or maybe an image for your website. And this prompt will then be used by the AI to create an image that matches this brief. So following on from my previous example of the coffee beans, you can see in Dolly, I give it a prompt of, can you create an image of a coffee cup sitting in a coffee shop with a festive background? And you can see it's giving me two different options that I can choose from. What you might find with Dolly sometimes is that you can even see in this example, sometimes they're more of the kind of animated style. But if you're just looking for a simple image to use for social media and have maybe used the amount of stock imagery that you have available to you, this is a great alternative because it's going to be an individual image based on that prompt. And then you're going to have it there for your visual, for your social media content. Kind of leading on from the WALL-E in terms of AI, Dolly, in terms of AI art, Leonardo AI is another great tool for AI art. It's, in my opinion, it would be better than Dolly, but both are very strong in terms of AI tools. So with Leonardo AI, you can use it for creating AI generated images, and you can create production quality visual assets for your projects with unprecedented quality, speed, and style consistency. So Leonardo AI offers a free tier that, so again, if you're maybe sitting here looking at these different tools thinking, are they free, are they paid? All these platforms come with, so say for example with ChatGPT, it comes with a free and a paid plan. Leonardo AI is very much the same. So it offers you a free tier that includes a daily quota of tokens, and these tokens can be used for creative projects within the platform. There isn't an expiry date for the tokens that you get with the free tier, so you can use it as long as you like, and even with the free plan you have, it's not one of those that you sign up for maybe a week free trial and then you have to pay. But Leonardo AI works the same way in terms of how Dolly does, is that you give it a prompt, but the only difference with Leonardo AI is that there are a lot more options that you can choose when putting in your prompt. So you can see here in the example I have just in this slide. So you can see even on the left-hand side, there's our menu, and then there's some examples of art you can create. But when you're putting in your prompt, you can select options such as, having a photo, like a photographic like creation of art. So if you're looking for something that looks more realistic, maybe in comparison to the art that you can create with Dolly, I would highly suggest checking out Leonardo AI. Even just as a trial, if you're looking to maybe put a toe into the world of AI art, I would suggest trying it out. So the next one you want to look at, and this one's probably more ideal if you're watching today and you're maybe a business who's just getting started and maybe you haven't tied down your branding yet. This tool is called Look a Logo Maker. So it's a like I said, it's a fantastic tool if your business is in the very early stages and you maybe you've got an idea of the branding you want, maybe in terms of colors, or even if you're an existing business that are looking for a rebrand and maybe don't have the budget to go to a design company for this. With Look a Logo Maker, you can it'll ask you to put in some choices, and ask what your business name is, and it will make you choices that you can use as an inspiration and generate custom logo designs. And with Look a Logo Maker, in terms of how to even go a little bit more in depth in terms of how it's used, by entering your company name and industry, it will then prompt you to show you some example logo styles that it has created, and it'll ask you to pick some of the ones that you like, or maybe you prefer in terms of what you want your own logo to look like. It'll then ask you some like colors and symbols that you like the look of. And then what the AI tool will do is use these and create custom logo designs that you can then choose from. And once you choose your chosen logo, so up until this point, it's free to try it out. And once you've chosen your logo, then it will give you an example of some marketing materials with your branding on it. So say, for example, social media graphics, or say like profile images and banners, to everything to letterheads. And all you have to do is, once you're happy with it, you'll just pick the marketing materials packages that you want. And then that's when you pay for them. And then they'll be yours to use moving forward for your business. And then we're next going to look at the AI voice generators. So this tool is probably ideal if you are watching today looking to maybe create video content, but if you're like me, hate the sound of your own voice in videos, or again, if you're, say, a sole trader or an independent business and you're kind of trying to run everything, if you thought, I don't want it to be my voice consistently in all my videos, I'd like to maybe create a little bit of a difference. AI voice generators like 11 Labs can help you make lifelike voiceovers for your content. So how they work really is, say, for example, with 11 Labs, when you go onto their website, you can see this little where I put We Are profile tree. So you select your language, what you want to say, and then below that, just in this example, you can see I've selected Daniel. So if you click that little drop down, it'll give you a range of different voices. So even in terms of accents, so whether it's a female or male voice, if you want it to be maybe American, or if you want it to maybe be, say, a British accent, you have lots of options there. And then what you can do is put in a prompt that you want. If you like it, then all you have to do is then follow through with making your own account. If you don't want to use 11 Labs, another example of an AI tool within a social media video editing tool is CapCut. So if you haven't used CapCut before, CapCut is a fantastic social media video editing tool that you can either use in-app or on desktop. But especially within the app, if you were to record a voiceover for your video, it has an AI voice changer built within it. And it might sound like, oh, it's going to maybe create a bit of a robotic voice, but from experience using it, it just can add a little little bit of a different tone to your voice. So like I said, it's ideal if you're maybe you're not comfortable having your own voice within your video content, or if you want to just create a little bit of a variety in terms of the voices heard in your videos. I would highly recommend either trying out 11 Labs or trying CapCut. Even CapCut's a great app in general, just for social media video editing. But even if you wanted to try the voiceover, I would highly recommend trying CapCut. So now that we've looked at the different tools that there are for you to use within AI, we want to now look at the different challenges that AI can create and how you can navigate through them. So, like we were looking at earlier, AI or artificial intelligence can bring a lot of benefits in social media and social media content, but it can also create some challenges. And knowing the best way to navigate these will help you use AI to your best advantage. So the first one we want to look at is maintaining authenticity and the human touch. So again, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about in terms of when you're using tools like ChatGPT. There's a high level of importance of having a balance between AI driven content with human creativity and authenticity. So really if you haven't used AI before for say for social media or any other content, you really want to kind of approach it with the thought of the tool is there to help enhance but not replace your content or replace the element that you have within the content creation. It also, and kind of even going back to what I was saying before in terms of that, the authenticity and relatability, you also don't want to fully support or depend on AI being in terms of your social media interaction. Say, for example, like with chatbots, they're a great tool to use, but you always want to make sure that you have your input there to get the genuine connections with your audience. Another thing then you want to think about is things like ethical considerations and bias. So, as a business, you want to be aware and address any potential biases that you might find in AI algorithms. So this, for what I mean by this is you want to ensure that you're ethically using AI, especially in terms of data privacy, your audience targeting, and also your content personalization. And then the other one you can see then here is the over reliance on automation. So kind of even going back to what I was saying about ChatGPT, they are all really great tools to use, but what you don't want to do is have like an over reliance or over dependence on them, because you want, like I was saying, you want to ensure any content that these AI tools help you create is not only relevant and appropriate, but again in line with your brand values. Some other challenges that you want to try to navigate then with AI are things like keeping up with how rapidly the technology is changing. So what you even know yourself, if you're watching this today, how quickly AI is developing, the new tools that are coming out all the time. So having a continuous maybe learning approach or training approach to them and adapting these to your existing content strategy is a great way to navigate this challenge. What we also want to look at is how you can manage your user expectations. So, looking at in terms of the AI and social media, users may expect faster, maybe more accurate responses and personalized interactions, which would require an input from you yourself, but also the support of an AI tool within your strategy as well. But these are just some examples of the challenges that you might face with AI and how you can navigate them. And you can see here some of the other ones that I mentioned. So things like I've already said those, like cost and resource allocation. So say with these AI tools, a lot, like I was mentioning, a lot of them come with paid plans. So you want to ensure that if you're choosing to use an AI tool, that you not only have the budget to use it, but that you're also getting the benefits that of paying for it and the content that it's creating for you. And other things that then you can adapt to are things like evaluating your AI effectiveness and adapting to platform limitation and changes. So even for as an example for this, kind of going into the SEO side of things, Google, in terms of how it views SEO of a website, has always looked at in terms of functionality of the design and development of a website, but it has also had a very high focus on content. With the development of AI content, Google has now started to change in terms of how it kind of indexes and ranks content. So that's an example in terms of the platform limitation and changes. So say, for example, with Google, as well as your, in terms of SEO, kind of taking a step away from social media, but just as an example, in terms of SEO, it will not only now look at your website content, but it'll look at other aspects to authenticate your business, such as your Google My Business profile, and then taking it back to social media. It'll also look at what are known as third-party community websites, so things like LinkedIn. So what I would say is, even if LinkedIn is maybe your main, either your main or one of your main platforms to use, having a consistent posting strategy and content, even linking back to your website, these are all going to create benefits for you. And it's also a way of how you can navigate these changes. And then just to wrap up in terms of the different challenges that you might face. So there's also things like managing user expectations, your cost and resource allocation, and also balancing personalization with privacy. So now that we've looked at the challenges, we want to look at the best practices for using AI in social media. So with the hope that AI can help support you and elevate your new or existing social media marketing tactics, some of the main practices that you want to keep in mind are, the first one is, don't be afraid to amend. So kind of back to what I was saying with ChatGPT, when you're using AI for things such as social media captions, don't be afraid to change prompts. And even sticking with the prompts for a second, it's kind of like I was saying, that if you give a broad one and it doesn't give you really the content you're looking for, don't be afraid to maybe give it a more specific prompt. And even at that point, if it doesn't give you, so say, for example, if you ask for a social media caption and it maybe gives you one full, maybe full of emojis, and with your existing and your previous content, emojis isn't something that you've used before, don't be afraid to put back in the ChatGPT and say, can you do this again, but remove emojis? You know your business, you know what type of content that you've shared before. So don't be afraid to tell it exactly what you want. And then, like I was saying, in terms of the content it creates, you want to amend it to match your business tone. And even if you're then looking at it and thinking, even if you're a little bit on the fence, don't be afraid to scrap the content completely and start over again. In terms then of the strategic AI integration, so what you want to do is carefully plan and strategize how you want AI to be integrated into your social media efforts. So with that, with the tools that you decide to use, you want to ensure that they align with your overall social media goals and brand voice. But like I said before, that it's helping enhance you rather than overshadowing you as, like say, your team behind the business and how they've driven content before. Oh, just double check. I think I maybe missed one. Um, yes. So balancing maintaining a balance between AI and human interaction. So while AI can automate and optimize many tasks, it's crucial to maintain a balance. And then we'll just go on to the next slide. So the next best practice you want to look at is regularly monitoring and adjusting your AI systems. So continuously AI, so you want to continuously monitor the performance of your AI tools, and you want to make adjustments as they're needed. So look, when you're using them, have a look at the feedback and the data analytics that you receive, and use these to refine your AI strategies and to ensure you get better results overall. And kind of like I mentioned before, because AI is developing all the time, you also want to invest in training and knowledge building. So investing in training for either for yourself or for your team to understand and effectively use these AI tools are going to help you with your content and your marketing tactics moving forward. So if you can keep abreast of the latest AI trends and the advancements, this will help your team utilize these tools more effectively, and you should see the impact of that in your content on your social media platforms. And then lastly, don't be afraid to experiment and innovate. So, with AI tools and the different features that they have, don't be afraid to try them out. And if you like them, if you like them, great. If you don't, then you don't have to use them. Innovation is key in the dynamic field of social media, really, and experimenting with AI can help you discover maybe new and more efficient ways to engage with your audience, maybe open doors to content that you haven't considered using before, and overall elevate your content marketing strategy on social media moving forward. So that is actually the end of our presentation. So I hope you find today helpful. So if you have any questions at all, whether it be about social media or the different AI tools that I mentioned, please feel free to drop them in the comment box below. And I will be here to help answer any questions that you have in the comments. If you enjoyed today, we would love to hear your feedback. So if you could head over to our Google My Business, we'd love to hear on how you enjoyed today and if you have any feedback on it. If you'd like to learn more about us at Profile Tree, you can see here that we have our contact information. So we have our website, where you can find more information about us and the different services we offer. And again, thank you very much for your time today in this presentation. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of the AI Summit with more talks today and tomorrow. Thanks.